Discretion is advised.
Happy Monday. You are listening and or watching PWNCAST. This is episode 152. We are in patch 7.1.5. Tonight we're going to be talking about all the news in World of Warcraft. There's not a whole lot of news, to be honest, but we are going to be talking about the dev Q&A summary from last Thursday that was basically useless. The BlizzCon hype is definitely real. And we have that and much, much more, so make sure you guys stay right here.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Amongst the Azeroth elite, there is a group that defies convention. A group that stands in the face of trolls and doesn't flinch. A group that strives on unity, trust, and unwavering resolve. A group that eats tacos. For the players, by the players, we bring you. She can start a revolt with a Chaos Bolt, Bell, the PWNCAST Vanguard. Snap back and get faster for the Pet Battle Grandmaster, Gemma Banks. He's sharp as a dagger with that dapper swagger, Secret Sauce. With holy might as strong as his ancient knowledge, Remedies, the Argent Loremaster. We bow to no one. We are Legion. We are PWNCAST.
Welcome back, guys. So, I have these guys muted. For those of you that are listening and watching, you might have noticed that Remedies has earned his spot here on the show and is officially in the intro. I do apologize for the quality of the audio.
What's a show?
Well, you know, it's a show.
Oh, you unmuted us.
Yeah, I unmuted.
Oh, see, I wasn't ready.
You should start something where you wink and then we know, and then we can just
I know, I really need to just...
I can't. I'm over here mining some laystone.
You better get off the... Wow, and pay attention to your people. So, the audio is a little bit different. Our wonderful voice of PWNCAST, which is, I think it's Drail88 is how you pronounce it. He's in the credits.
Yes.
AKA Isaac.
Drail.
Got a new mic, so it's different, and we're working it out. But he's on there. He's got a nice little new...
It's better with him on there.
Yeah, fancy new graphic. He's official, guys. Those of you that have put the call out and have begged for me to put him in the intro, we got everything we needed to be able to make it happen. So, there were several people.
What book is he reading?
So, the book...
Is that Chronicles?
Narnia? Love that.
It's the... Tell them what's on your book, on your graphic.
Yeah, Remedies, tell us.
Yeah, please, Rem. I don't even know.
You face Jiraxis.
It's the history of Jiraxis is what's on his book, which is kind of cool.
That's cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty nifty, I think. Pretty happy about that. But I did bring the Riders of Rohan with me. I did bring the monk who's being haunted by the Battle.net notifications in his dreams, Gemma Banks.
I hate those things.
Maybe you want to give a backstory of, like, what is it doing and why it bothers you?
Well, yeah, I mean, when I record clips, I'm so anal, like no one can run by in the clip, and I don't want anyone from my Real ID thing popping up for the notification.
Oh, yeah.
So
they can't add them.
I considered removing everyone from my friends list because I couldn't.
Oh
make
my gosh!
I know, and Remedies.
I'd have been sad.
Overthinking hit.
Yeah,
it was the easiest thing to. Remedies helped me during the show, but I asked Remedies like 2 other occasions through just whatever, and I'm just too stupid to figure it out. So thank you for helping.
No, you good? You good?
So it's just haunting your dreams at this point.
It was bothering me. Yes.
That's so funny. It bothered me as well, which that's why it took me a minute to understand what your issue was, because I haven't seen those in probably the better part of 2 years. I turned those off because it's really, but it's displeasing to the eye too, especially with like the broadcasting. Like I think it's really cool that you could broadcast your status. No offense though, if I'm on your Facebook, you can broadcast your status on Facebook. I don't really give a shit in game for it to like pop up and be like, you know.
I had that turned off. That's from like when it was originally out. So that was the name popping, logging in and out. It was just strictly for the, hey, you know, Secret Sauce is doing a mythic or whatever. And I'm like,
and it's like a tattletale. Like that's really annoying.
You're trying to,
It's one of those things where like it's the same thing as like it lets you set your status to away or busy, but like the second you move in game, it'll change your status back to active.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't even like on the sly ignore someone.
Oh, you can't?
No, and it's
really.
the same thing with
like,
Facebook. They tell people when you're online. So in Messenger, if you're like, I'll respond, like I'll be ignoring my daughter on Facebook, but I'll respond to Rem. My daughter has a lot of drama during the day, so I ignore it if I'm working. So she totally knows I'm ignoring her because I'll be on Facebook responding to Rem for something in the middle of the day, and she's like, I see your green dot. It's like, gosh, Facebook.
I get that.
I don't remember the settings, but you can actually turn off the Real ID.
You can turn, the Real ID?
Like in the actual folder and files and all that, yeah.
Well, that's a lot of work.
It's way overcomplicated, but yeah, they talked about a way of having.
I think it's great that it gives you the option to be able to share things with other players on your BattleNet and stuff like that, but they're of the opinion that I like everybody on my BattleNet 100% of the time, right? Sometimes I might not like a specific person, maybe just for a day because they've been bugging, or or maybe I'm just, it's one of those days where...
I have this annoying person on my battle tag called Bella saying...
Well, you know how, like, maybe it's that day...
today?
It's that... basically.
Are we leveling today?
But you know how it's like that day where you just don't want to talk to anybody, you just want to get in game and do stuff, and you don't necessarily want to be social? And then, people expect that social, so they just automatically just, like... And there's no way to just stealth mode, just go in and be and do, because... And you can't even...
Not even like right now.
You can't even AFK in game because, or you can't even like pretend you're AFK because if you're map hopping, people are gonna know that you're ignoring them.
That's true as well, yeah.
Oh, it's bad.
We got it fixed though. It's good. Leave us alone if we want quiet.
Too funny. I did also bring the priest who cleared a mythic plus 15 within the time limit, and you weren't even carried. What is this nonsense, Secret?
No, but the backstory that we were in there for like 4 hours, so we kept resetting it over and over because...
Can you reset a keystone?
You can reset the dungeon, so you just go back outside.
But it doesn't reset your keystone? It doesn't deplete?
No, it was already depleted.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing. With a depleted keystone, as long as you finish it within the time limit of 15, you still get the achievement for it. And a lot of people didn't know that. Yeah, I needed the achievement. I knew that, that extra hidden artifact skin color.
So for people who want to be able to do this, what is the process they follow if they don't beat it?
Just go back in it the same. Well, I mean, Maw of Souls is going to be the easiest one for most people, actually. And yeah, I mean, if you continue to wipe off the mechanics, I mean, just go back out, reset the instance, and go back in, and it starts all over. And then you just do it within the time frame. Like we got to Helya with 8 minutes to spare, so we had time to, just in case we wiped and stuff like that. So and actually we didn't, but then again, after 4 hours of wiping, eventually we were going to kill her.
I had no idea you could do that with a depleted keystone. That's amazing.
Yep.
Huh.
So
this is why I watch the show. Normally it's Jim that says that, but this is why I watch, because I learned a thing.
What was the mechanic this week? Was it...
Oh yeah, what was this?
I don't know what
it was. Tyrannical.
The affixes.
I don't even remember what they are. All I know is I couldn't overheal.
Oh, it's hard that way.
It's basically bad and worse were the affixes for this week. Bad and worse.
Yeah, but next week I heard it's supposed to be really, really bad too. So
I really do need to do me and Rem need to do a 15 plus, because we do need to get that. Because that 15 plus is tied to the purple appearance for my balance of power weapon that I really want.
Yeah,
because my Mog needs a purple weapon. Man.
Yep. So, but like I said, I mean, it did take us a lot longer than anticipated, but we got it done, and that's
anybody
what
out there have a mythic plus 15 keystone that you want to donate to your friendly neighborhood destruction warlock for the achievement? If so, call 1-800 save a Destro's life and
1-800-WHAN
and help me. To that end, I did also bring the paladin who hates Gen Greymane. And I'm not saying what you hashtagged, Rem, but I'm very upset that you dislike Gen.
Hashtag Greymane is a...
Hello?
I don't know. Hello?
You'll find out later.
I got to tell you, I like the cinematic that we went through in Stormheim, and between him and Sylvanas, I appreciated that, and it made me really like him. And for an old man, he looks okay without a shirt on. FY information.
Damn, that's right.
He'd sell you for $1.
So I guess that kind of tells us where you're going to be at lore related later on in the show. And you better have some really good justification for your Gen hating, because I don't appreciate it. Look at his face. He's just like, I don't even...
He don't care.
Give a shit.
That's how he looked yesterday when he was eating his burrito.
Rem, you've changed.
He's changed ever since he got added to the intro.
Change clothes.
Changed.
For real.
You're the reason everything
I didn't
has
even
changed.
know I was part of the show. I
Did
thought,
you two call each other before the show and discuss what you were going to wear?
Oh man,
It's
I
just,
see Bell and Rem have the same shirt on.
Yeah, did you call
I
each
have the
other
same
up?
shirt as Jimma, so I might just go put it on so we can
I
match.
honestly, so this was not planned. It's just I typically like to wear black on the show because black is very slimming, right? So
agree.
I try to wear black shirts, and this was just the only one I could find that was clean.
most of my shirts are just black.
Yeah.
And
We know.
Yeah, I just
Well,
really
good.
like. But 99% of my closet is black clothing because that's just my. I'm just
You
more
got
comfortable.
99 problems, but a
Well,
shirt. anyway.
99% of the ones you wear.
Right, and black and gray. There's the gray.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
gray stuff too.
That's right.
So,
It's gray, mate.
Ooh.
I'm salty about that for sure. Okay, guys, let's get real for a second.
Real ID?
The Hots, Heroes of the Storm, Flame Saber,
Makes
for
sense.
Azeroth
Yeah,
weekend,
I told you about this.
extended to March 26th. So, even though
Is
they
that
stopped,
another
they
week?
stopped the event and then restarted it. Wherever you were at previously, it picks right up.
Oh,
Go
that's good.
into Heroes of the Storm with at least one battle tag friend, and you can do any type of games. You could do against AI, you could do PvP brawls, and just make sure that you're using a World of Warcraft hero for your 15 games, and just be done with it, guys. Just get your
You
flame
don't even
saber.
have to win.
You have to what?
You don't
You
have
don't
to
even
win.
have to win.
Yeah, you don't even have to win. Just go and
Just have fun. Yeah.
go kill stuff, and get it good.
Get it good.
Get it
I got
good.
it right
Got it.
before the show last week, and only because of the time change in Arizona.
Oh, did
was
you?
able to do it in time. If we did it like an hour before, like East Coast time,
How funny.
yeah, I wouldn't have been able to finish it.
That's too
Or you
funny.
just did like me and the day it came out.
That's
Right?
Well, the only reason why the show doesn't change is because because I'm honoring your guys' time, even though my time zone doesn't change. At your guys'
Mine did.
time, if we would have kept it at the same, it would have put me at 8. It would have put us at 8:00 for start
Not a problem.
time, which is smack in the middle of when my kids are running around screaming like banshees. So
no, I love it. After work, I was able to go get stuff done. I relaxed on the
you
couch.
don't have to rush, right? You don't have to rush
the
to get
dog
home.
out. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's nicer, in my opinion.
What
Also,
about you, Sauce? He doesn't think so.
I'm over here rushing, eating dinner.
Bull
with my
crap, because
significant
you eat
other.
dinner, you would eat dinner at 8:00 your time. So I in my mind, I was thinking, well, this is going to be great for Sauce because I don't have to worry about him eating dinner and or taking a shower 5 minutes before showtime because
He's got more time.
he's got more time because it's an hour later for you.
Nope, I'm over here rushing.
Now you're still
Like, hurry up,
unhappy.
hurry
this
up.
is why
Yeah.
there is no pleasing
yeah.
men, right? You can.
Whoa.
There is no pleasing you.
Easy. Let's not make this a man versus woman.
Listen.
Get into
I mean,
the-
I hate change. So,
But what about sriracha sauce?
top round.
Technical difficulties aside, Rem, do you not see my video?
Earlier.
It
was-
literally
Oh,
just
okay.
it went like this, and then came
Oh,
back.
awkward.
it was
Okay,
like, yeah.
Just
interesting.
hitting it, the old school dance moves.
Keep on
You
trucking.
know how I do.
The safety
Okay.
dance.
Ungoro Madness is over, right? That was that little micro holiday.
Yes.
I trucked my ass all the way down there,
For nothing.
and it was,
And it was
really
gone.
not that fun.
Why? Describe to me why it was not fun.
I just
and
killed
describe
the
to me-
giant dinosaurs. Like that was essentially,
it?
which I appreciate.
So I'm assuming,
like,
Jimmy, you didn't do it. That's what you're talking about.
This is correct.
Exactly.
did you do it, Sauce?
Hell no.
Yeah, I just.
What? Oh, he called me.
I
out.
appreciate, I appreciate the purpose of the micro event, and I think it's pretty cool, except I literally was like, I was telling Rem, I seriously came all the way down here to kill a dinosaur. That's really why and there's
Did
no,
you make Rem go with you?
no, I went on my own, actually, if you can
I
believe
didn't-
that.
He was at work.
No, he was on, he just was like, I'm not
Oh.
about your life.
The
Like,
only holiday thing or event that we've had that I've enjoyed was Terran versus South Shore, Terran
Yeah.
Mill versus South Shore, which was epic, and I somehow missed that, which is pretty shitty.
well, it'll be coming back in 7.2 as part of the a rotation of the
Right.
PvP brawls.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then the AQ, I wanted to do that so bad.
I didn't get to do it either,
but
but
I didn't do it
everybody
either.
loved it.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. Like other than that, maybe the Stormwind Guard thing, or
The hatching
I'm-
of the hippogriffs was really fun.
I didn't do that either.
Yeah, that was really fun.
I think it's everything doesn't need to give something, but
Right.
there has to be at least like something to obtain instead of just like, oh, go here and like.
Or just make it fun. Like, maybe I was doing it wrong. I just didn't.
That sounds accurate.
Those of
like
you
a tavern crawl they didn't do.
still doing it wrong at 35. Damn. This is why nobody invites me anywhere, because I'm just an embarrassment. Those of you that did it this week, comment on the show. If you're on iTunes, hop on over to the YouTube channel, give me a comment and tell me, what was I missing something there? Maybe give me did you enjoy it, what the purpose was, and maybe and if I'm doing it wrong, maybe you could draw me a picture. Because
No, that guy from New Zealand did draw us his pictures. Remember him?
A big middle finger.
he did.
He drew us his penises.
He
I
did
know
draw
what
us
you
his
did
penises.
wrong, Belle.
What?
You didn't have the right atmosphere.
I did. We change, man. That's just it's the way we do when we change. So
Yeah.
I've been told recently. Okay, guys. Now, I want to talk about this Q&A. Oh, no, let's talk about BlizzCon first, and then we'll talk about the Q&A. There's this mini rant coming in the Q&A. But BlizzCon was announced November 3rd and 4th. Typically, you want to get there Tuesday-ish, maybe Wednesday. We're going to be throwing a party, so you definitely want to go there for that. But tickets go on sale. Universe.com/BlizzCon is going to be where you get your tickets. Wednesday, April 5th at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Specific time?
And then Saturday, April 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific time.
You're welcome.
So $203, I believe, with tax American is going to be what you're looking at. As far as the conversion for the other countries, I can't help you there because I can barely math in my own country.
It's a lot.
So here's what you do if you are looking to score a BlizzCon ticket. What you need to do is you need to Skype it up. Get in a Skype call with several people that are going. And you guys need to all have your little windows open and all get in there. And each of you needs to be ready to order the maximum amount of tickets for each other. So the best way to attack that honestly and truthfully is in a group. We always get on a giant Skype call or Zoom or whatever. And if one of us gets in, they get 4 and the others pay. We're fortunate where we usually have other people that are not on our Zoom call that will look out for us and will buy the 4 tickets to make sure like the cast can go and stuff like that. So, get a ticket. If you've ever thought that it wasn't enough money or budget wasn't happening, the overall expense, if it's broken down throughout the year, isn't really terrible. You have the initial expense of the ticket, which is $203 American, and then you have, you get your hotel, you party up with get some friends going on. There's several groups that will looking for roommates to be able to make the cost cheaper. And then you have your flight or your driving, depending on where you're located. If you're driving because you're close enough into a state that's close by, there's I think it's Battle to BlizzCon is the group on Facebook where people are constantly carpooling if they're in the same location. Yeah. Don't think that it has to be this huge amount of money, especially if you're already, this is for Americans. I know anything international is going to be a shit ton of money for flights, but don't think necessarily that you can't make it happen because you let the cost overwhelm you. If you do it little by little and just kind of prepare yourself, you don't really need a ton of money for BlizzCon, guys. You don't even spending money. You just need to be able to eat. And
mac and cheese, $19,
and buy some drinks. Like it's not even.
That was way too much.
We bought breakfast bars,
delicious.
and I bought quick little lunch snacks, and then like the big thing was like dinner. But I stocked those trucks. I spent probably, I think it was like $6 per time we went to the damn coconut rice truck.
That's it.
Coconut truck and ice cream.
Yeah, we didn't spend. I have 5 children and I live on a budget, guys. If I can go every year and I don't go with a ton of money, I'm fortunate where I have friends like Rem who will buy me a drink and tacos.
And a tattoo. Yeah.
You don't have to have a ton of money.
Drinks and he doesn't get a head nod.
No.
I wasn't even trying to dance with you, girl. I bought you a drink straight off friendship.
Well, you also let somebody drink my drink last year.
Ooh.
FYI.
FYI, there was a group of people, including a giant
replaced
Mexican
it.
friend, and I replaced it.
He replaced it. Poor Tio. He just is. That's Daddy Tio. He takes care of everybody. So, and there's
Listen
really
at
no
the
hiding
door.
him. Tio's really ginormous. It's obvious that he's security for us anywhere we go because he is like.
Even yesterday.
He carried me all the way to my room because my feet hurt.
in the palm of his hand.
Yeah, he carried me all the way to my room.
He palmed her head.
My dumbass wore brand new shoes to our party. Smart, right? Brand new Chucks. That was a great freaking idea.
I wear brand new shoes too.
What an idiot I was. So, if you have questions regarding BlizzCon, feel free to comment on the show. Email me, bell@pwnecast.net. I live on a budget, guys. I can help you prioritize and chunk things up to make it where you can, go and join in the festivities. I would say that this is now our third BlizzCon, and I'm pretty much a pro. Especially with the money. Like, I make miracles happen every time I go to BlizzCon. I make miracles happen. So.
And if you're worried you're not going to get any tickets on the 2 days ahead of time, add Belle on Facebook or Twitter, because she'll probably help you get one. So just
I'm pretty good. We have in the BlizzCon 2016 group on Facebook, there's usually a running list, and we're usually pretty good about making sure. But you really want to try your best effort. Don't rely on being able to get a ticket. True. You want to make sure you put your best effort forward because, you're going to want that.
That was great advice to tell everyone to do it in groups, like you said in Skype.
Yeah, the groups is the way to go. You just a plan of attack.
Yeah.
We're all
But also
ready.
don't feel down if you don't get on the first couple of days, because their plans change for some people.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's really if your heart is set on it, don't let money be the factor. Especially if you're not in the US, I can help you a little bit, but there'll probably be like Gemma might be a nice go-to because he's in Canada, and there's other people that
exchange your money at the airport. So stupid. So dumb. Continue, carry on. Go ahead.
I don't know anything about that, and that scares me. I'm really glad that I live here. But for those of you that are interested in the BlizzCon thing, don't count it out because you think it's expensive. There's ways of being able to make it happen. So
really quick, if I were to exchange my money, if I was coming from Austria, where would I exchange it before I go?
Wouldn't you do it at a bank? I think would be.
Yeah, of course.
I think the bank would be the most obvious.
Well, even for me, like.
Is it because the airport taxes it or something? So
the guy, I didn't even realize. So I hand him 700 Canadian, and I look at the exchange rate, 65 cents, and I'm like, I almost just was like, as he's counting my American money, I almost was like, no, dog, I don't want that. But it was too. I'm like, why is the rate so bad? He's like, you're not exchanging money, you're buying it. He didn't do that, but that's.
But your bank, I'm assuming, would probably be.
Or because I'm close to the border, I drive over, so I do it right at the border. Or I'm supposed to, if it's not too late or early, and then I'm prepared.
Because the airport probably charged a pretty hefty.
Oh yeah.
Fee.
I fly out of Detroit, so I just go over the border and
fly. Oh yeah, definitely in Detroit.
But join the BlizzCon 2017 group on Facebook. Just search BlizzCon 2017. I'm one of the admins there. So go, and even if you just lurk for a little while to kind of feel out, what's going on and what people are into and that kind of thing. It's a really good experience, and I think that people like the first BlizzCon I knew about, I thought I'll never be able to afford that. And then when we went to the first BlizzCon ever, I was really stupid and didn't pre-save my money, and I relied on my paycheck, which was really bad when we got back, because the Bell House budget was a little rough because I didn't, budget accordingly.
The math.
Yeah, last time I've really been on point because I've been saving since December.
Nice.
I just little teeny tiny amounts.
Over to start saving.
I did, and I just started saving $25 here and there, just throwing it in there just so that I could have it. So definitely want to make sure that if you guys are interested and you want more information, email me about pwnecast.net, and I will help you as much as I can. And
that
we will have.
You're talking about. Sorry to interrupt. My bad. That group you're talking about is great because everyone kind of bands together. New people, first year people, and the people that have been there really do give everyone great tips.
They do, and they look out for each other, and it's just a good. I have the pleasure. Dari actually owns the BlizzCon 2017 group, and I love her to pieces. But I have the pleasure of working with some really great admins for that group, and they really, they know a lot. So these guys are, Dari's really seasoned. The same with Elkie. They're seasoned vets when it comes to BlizzCon. So
I've seen people post links of just ways to plan your whole week out.
It's also pretty seasoned. Top Ramen.
Oh my god.
Top Ramen.
That was the worst.
What? But it's the best if it's an inside.
I posted one on Rem's page the other day. The soda pressing.
I saw that.
Did you see that? Every time I see, it was like a soda in a depressing machine, a Coke in a depressing machine, and then it said something, and then it was so depressing.
It was good. It was good.
I was in the bathroom, and I found it to be quite humorous because Rem is the one that does those really amazing well thought out puns. He's super punny. So,
Big Punisher.
rounding it out, if you need anything
RP.
regarding BlizzCon, join the group. Let me know. Come hang out. We'll have more party information on the PWNCAST party, which it's not going to be called DitchCon specifically. We are changing it to PWNCAST party just so that people know who we are when we're throwing the party. It's going to be the same exact thing as last year with some tweaks and changes according to feedback for the betterment. But we'll have more information throughout the year as that unfolds.
You and Rem could make videos. You guys should just do two people sit next to each other and do puns. I think you guys should do that. You guys will have
Just
each other
nothing
out.
but puns.
Yeah, I think you'd do it.
There's a content Q&A for World of Warcraft on Thursday at 11 a.m. PST on the Warcraft Twitch channel.
Like
Now-
this Thursday?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, with
Oh,
that
cool.
being said, I watched this developer Q&A on Thursday. I did it
And-
mainly because I do this thing on Twitter. If you guys follow me on Twitter, then you guys got the pleasure of seeing it. I live tweet the many faces of CM Lore during these Q&As. And he seems to be quite amused that I do it, which is nice. But I spend the whole time listening and then taking snapshots of awkward faces that Lore does. And then I tweet to him, and it's become quite popular. So I'm watching this and I'm thinking, some of these Q&As, although they're informative when Ian does them, don't get me wrong, when Ian does them, I feel like we're super on par with the information that we're receiving, and I really like it. So we watched this Q&A with Matt Goss, who is the lead game designer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's a nice fellow.
Feller?
Yeah, he's a nice fellow, and I think that that's great. But I'm going to be really honest, and I don't know if anybody else watched this Q&A, but it really felt like this Q&A was completely useless and a waste of my time. And that really hurts me to say, because you guys know I'm a CM Lore fan, right? So I'm like,
Right.
It really hurts for me to put this specific Q&A down, but the majority of it was about legendaries. And that might be why I was already
I was just going to guess that.
in my state of mind. He did say, like, they asked him, was your intention for there to be a lot of legendaries to go around? And he's like, well, we intended it to be more. And I literally, my jaw dropped to the floor, and I looked at my husband, and I'm like, this fucking guy. Seriously? You wanted it to be more?
Is your husband actually watching it with you? Or
Well,
is he...
so what I do is okay, confession. So
Oh, God.
when I'm trying to capture good faces of Lore, he's on his phone trying to capture good faces also, in case when I click too late. So he's totally my partner, guys. He's a great...
Literally.
So when you see the view change on the pictures I post, that one was my husband because it was on his thing. But he does watch it because I put it on the TV, and we do...
And you kind of make
You
him.
make
He doesn't really have much of a choice, but he listens to it. The only one he was interested in, of course, was the one with Holinka. But this whole time, they... Some of this stuff, guys, I feel like...
Do you think it's just too many?
I think it was great stuff. So
I feel
Dude?
like because they
No.
pick and choose the questions they want to answer, I don't really feel that there's a sense of randomness in these questions, right? Like, I feel like they just pick and choose, which I guess they're supposed to. So I'm not faulting them for that, but I feel
Right.
like some of the questions that I've seen on there when they tell you, hashtag this to get your question answered, they're really solid questions that I would love to get an answer to, but I know why they don't answer them because, whatever their reasons are politically
So let me
correct.
challenge you, because you watch them. Maybe find a couple of the best questions that they're dodging, and let's maybe talk about them. Or
Yeah, we could
find
catch
out
them on
maybe
here.
there's-
I think that that's a great idea.
Call them out.
I think the next couple days I'll stalk the Twitter and see what people are asking and the
Yeah.
questions that are asked the most and see. I think, Jim,
Yeah,
sometimes...
the most asked question that they have not addressed.
Sometimes...
Yeah.
Sometimes you are.
I got the right beat going on in my head sometimes.
But I do
That's
want to address
Ross's
a few
sauce, though.
things. One of
Yeah.
the questions was, eligibility rules for personal loot trading are confusing. Why? Great question. That's an amazing question. His response is, basically, he agrees that it's very confusing, especially with gear with bonus rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So 7.2, basically bonus roll items can't be traded, which they can't be traded now, correct?
They never were. Bonus rolls? No.
Yeah, never.
no.
Then why are they saying like it's new then?
I mean, I've noticed because I have a tab for chat. I have a tab for my combat log, and I have a tab for all loot, reputations, money, resources, etc. Right. So it's not showing anymore when someone bonus rolls. Like it doesn't state, Remedies bonus rolled, receives bonus roll, blah blah blah. It doesn't say that anymore. Now it just says Remedies receive loot. So now that's the part where it's kind of looking like bonus rolls don't exist anymore.
Well, and it's saying it'd be risky to open up the opportunity to trade bonus rolls. Raids could organize bonus roll days so everyone in the raid could coordinate rolling.
I was just going to say that's a great idea, but that makes sense.
Basically, they agreed that they haven't done a good job explaining the rules, and hopefully that'll be more clear, with the notes for the official live release is 7.2 as far as what other
rolls. But it's bonus rolls, though. Like, you personally worked for that seal or pay gold or pay resources or whatever order hall missions. You shouldn't be able to trade bonus rolls.
Well,
I don't care what it is.
I think if you already got it, I don't feel like it's unfair. Like, if I already had the item and I got it on a bonus roll, I would prefer to give it to somebody than let it go to waste, to be perfectly honest.
Well, I mean, I agree in that aspect, too.
For instance, on Sunday's raid, Renray, our warrior in the raid, he got bracers and then bonus rolled the same bracers. So stuff like that could be like passed out kind of deal.
Yeah.
Didn't get
when LFR first came out.
A lot of this is clarification on things that have passed, like raid zones such as Emerald Nightmare that don't have tier sets that feel unrewarded. How did you like this design? Like, a lot of this stuff is as if they pick the questions that were explaining either their really great choices or their bullshit choices. It was almost as if they were like, they're using this as a means to just be like, hey, here's where we're at now. Here's what we're sorry for. Here's what didn't work. It's almost like they're using this as an explanation. Right. Not really a whole lot of like, what's coming new stuff, but they basically said that there in the beginning of the expansion there was so much to focus on that they didn't want to add tier gear as another focus given the artifact trades, legendaries. Like, I completely agree with that. And then of course now Nighthold, with you being able to get the tier and stuff like that, I think that's good. And then another question was still thinking about letting players wear tier 19 2-piece and tier 24 piece in patch 7.2. Tier sets have 6 pieces now in Legion, so players could equip 2 legendaries and maintain their 4-piece bonus. But this would also allow players to mix and match their tier sets along with their legendaries.
Which would be awesome if they had good stats on them.
Basically, they're saying that they're cautious about feels cautious about this, but wants to give players space to be able to make their own decisions based off what they need for their style of play. Right. Changes may be made if the 2-piece tier 19 is universally better and worn all the time. However, there are no definite plans. It's just an option. Basically, it's an option on the table for them to be able to do that. A lot of people have asked that because I see that constantly being tweeted to devs, being able to mix and match like that. And I do think that I agree there. When I read a forum post on Destruction Warlocks, which I'll talk about at a different show, but kind of made me understand a little bit of some of the missing pieces regarding my own class in proper gearing and not just accepting what's thrown at me when I'm in a run and chasing my gear to be able to get the results that I'm looking for as far as my DPS because my frustration. So
like crit first. Yes.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Best sets ever. Top
Sriracha sauce.
There's just a lot of legendary talk that I'm just not. I don't care to.
You ain't feeling.
I'm just.
Just dust it off.
When are we gonna get to equip 3?
There was a good question that I saw, but they answered it poorly about the unstable Arcano crystal. How it's such a good item, and it's only available every rotation on that one boss, which is.
That's Wither Gym, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, our own.
I know things, guys. What?
I've seen Wither Gym though. Like it happened 1 week, and then 2 weeks later he came right back.
I've only seen it 3 times.
Mm-hmm. That was really 3 times.
So they also talked about why they removed the secondary trait on the relic as an order advancement in your order hall.
Why?
Because they're going to be putting it in game with these relics, but what they want to do is they want less RNG, more of an ability to make sure that when you do get this secondary trait, I don't know how they're going to do it, and they're still working. It might not even be in 7.2 that it's implemented. We might be looking beyond, like 7.3. But he did say that they are working it. They want to use it in another aspect versus the RNG being so heavy, because everything is so much fucking RNG. There's literally zero reward for hard work anymore, because it's the guys that are really grinding aren't getting what they need because RNG is a factor here. So, which was my complaint in PvP, that you weren't grinding, your grind for gear. There was no end game because you're just at the mercy of the RNG gods. And if you're one of those people that has shitty luck, you're just screwed. Nobody wants to play in a game where all their hard work isn't getting rewarded. They're just getting shit on at every turn. That frustrates people.
That doesn't sound like World of Warcraft.
It's just annoying that they're even, and that's been the bulk of a lot of complaints publicly on the forums. And I've even seen some content creators kind of do some vlogs about kind of how they're feeling about patch 7.2 and where they're going with RNG, and just how we've been since Legion started, with the bulk of it being if you're lucky. If today is a good day and you're lucky, you'll get all the stars and planets aligned.
I love that song. It's a great song.
But what about the times when the people that work really, really hard, they're not getting rewards? They're getting shit on, and I think it's bullshit, in my opinion. Blizzard really needs to get their shit together when it comes to the reward element. I appreciate that they're making it easier for people who don't have a lot of time to play, right? But if you're going to cater to one, I need you to cater to both, because it's unfair to the people that work really, really hard for something. And then, example, I work really, really hard on my druid. I don't get anything. Rem rolls right onto his druid the first time ever since he maxed out and gets all the things. That shouldn't be.
Is your name Morton right now?
It shouldn't just be the case, guys. Blizzard, if you're watching or listening, can you just give the people that work really, really hard, give them their due, and stop with this RNG bullshit across the board, because it's pissing me off. So basically, I'm going to be really honest. This Q&A was completely useless in my opinion. We didn't get a lot of really good things. Like, there wasn't a lot of good questions. It just that.
What do you want, Bill?
Maybe I'm spoiled by Ian, because his responses and the questions that this picked just seem to be better. And it seems to be things that I personally want to know. So I'm sure it was great for people. If you watched it and you liked it, that's great.
Get his phone number. Just call him personally.
To me, it was a waste of my hour. But
who's talking on this Thursday's interview?
Hold on.
Let's interview Rem.
Please no.
I forget. I'm gonna look right now. Know. But there's like tons of stuff that I think they're going to be talking about. This is going to be a content focused Q&A. So, and this is going to be with another senior game designer. How many senior game designers are there?
4.
Ryan Shader, and it's basically going to be all content related. Which this one might be a nice one.
I don't trust him.
He sounds more like an artist than.
Make sure you follow @BlizzCon to get your live blog as it's happening of the Many Faces of Lore.
People should counter that on you and just take random screenshots of the show and put it and tweet you.
Oh, that's awful.
See how you like it.
That's awful. If Lore was really smart, Lore would totally do that, because that would be like amazing.
Just use like the past couple episodes where
Sick, absolutely. And you've got a lot of people that love you, that like you enough to do that. So tweet her with her own pictures.
So I want to talk about the next on the list. There's going to be, in Bell's Bites, I'm going to be talking about things you need to do to be prepared for patch 7.2. I'm actually going to be recording a video. I'm going to be doing a video tonight, so you don't necessarily have to watch it here. You can watch it on the YouTube channel. But things that you need to do to be prepared for patch 7.2, we'll talk about that. But let's talk about the new enhancements. So there's been some UI changes, just quality of life improvements, things that just make things better. Now, as I'm telling you guys these UI improvements, there's going to be a couple at the end of this that I'm going to point out that were stolen from developers that make add-ons. Now, I want you guys to be thinking in your mind about this practice and think of it from your add-on developer perspective, right? Where you do all this hard work and Blizzard comes and takes your shit. Should there be compensation? How do you feel that there isn't compensation? How would you feel from a Blizzard perspective and from an innovator who does these add-ons? So while I'm talking about this, you guys be thinking about that, because that's going to be the topic of discussion.
Got it.
So, A couple things that I noticed right off the bat, which WoW had barely had posted it, but I had noticed it, and I guess I didn't think about talking about it on the show. So when you're in your world map, you know how it kind of faintly glows now when it's an emissary, right? When it's connected to an emissary. Now it has a nice thick gold ring on that map if it's that emissary quest. So if you're, like, say you're on Suramar, but maybe there's a Kirantor one, but you have the Nightfallen selected, in your, the 3 circles, and you have or the 4 circles, whatever. If you have Suramar selected for the Nightfallen, it'll a big, bold gold around.
Right, yeah. So you know which ones are which.
So you know exactly which ones, which for me was a nice improvement visually, because sometimes I squirrel. So it's nice for me to just have that visual cue on the map, which is really nice. Now, one of the other ones that Blizzard had done a post on their new UI changes, but this didn't make it in their notes, is the calendar. So how we identify when something is going on is you have the day it starts, you have the day it ends, and then you have that awkward graphic at the top, right? Which we've been playing so long, we know the purple and green means Dark Moon Fair. Like, we know what these graphics mean, but it's still kind of a pain, because sometimes your calendar will be so full of shit from guild events, your events, all that kind of stuff, that you won't be able to see that. Well, now when you hover over that box, every day that it's happening, you'll see, ongoing. This is ongoing. Dark Moon Fair is ongoing. That's so cool. It's pretty cool from that perspective. If you are in a guild where there's a lot of stuff going on and it kind of mucks up your calendar, whenever you hover, when you see your list of what's going on for that day, it'll also say, what's going on. Like PvP bonus event is happening, and it'll say ongoing.
Oh, so I don't have to go to like the Monday and be like, oh hey.
Right. So it's pretty cool that it'll show you even on the days where it's not beginning or ending. And then another cool one, which this is actually my favorite one, is if you don't have enough currency to buy the item, it's completely grayed out. Like, the whole item is completely grayed out, which, I mean, why are you guys making those faces?
Because I had to fucking yawn. I'm sorry.
I thought Sauce was dying. Sorry.
I didn't understand what was going on. Like, you both looked awkward as shit, and I thought, oh, okay.
No, like I like my soul just like yawned out of me.
So for things like the Nether shards, it's completely grayed out. If you don't have the currency, meaning, you know how you have the item, you have the icon, and then you have the amount of the currency in the box.
Right, yeah.
It's completely grayed out, which gives you a visual to be like, hi, you're broke. I'm gonna need you to go back and do the thing to get the thing to buy the thing.
Did they get this idea from my bank? I'm confused.
What? Oh, you're stupid. Nothing tells you suck like your bank sending you a daily text message of your balance. That's like my daily dose of disappointment. Basically tells you exactly where you stand in the world. So let's talk about a little bit of the other quality of life improvements. Now, funny thing is, last week I was in PTR and I was like, does anybody know why this player's name is orange? I was thinking, legendary. Yeah, I was like, did they do some type of legendary thing and now they have, like, that's a thing?
An orange nameplate?
Had I have paid attention, I would have already known, because I seen
an NPC, huh?
No, it's if you're on a PvE if you're on a PvE server,
right.
The opposite faction will be orange instead of red, which is nice. Because it doesn't need to be red if they're not engaging in combat, right? Because it can be off-putting for someone like us when we're on a server. We see their red, that could be awfully,
So if we're both flagged, though, they go back to red?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's orange for the opposite faction on PvE servers, which is kind of cool. I think that's kind of neat. And then you can assign a specialization you can assign a spec to an equipment set in the equipment manager, which is nice. So those of you that multi-spec for, say, PvE or PvP, you can assign a specific set of your equipment based on your spec now. So if you're like Jimma, if you're swapping back and forth between Brewmaster and a Mistweaver, you can automatically swap out your set based off your specialization, which is really nice.
Boom.
That's what the equipment manager is for, though.
It did it already, but now it's added in there.
It didn't fully do it, though.
No, it didn't fully do it.
You would change your spec, and then all you have to do is go to your equipment manager and switch from Shadow to Holy.
I know it just messed up my trinkets anyway.
So now when you change your spec, it'll change your equipment. It'll automatically swap for you, which is really nice.
So, but can you set that armor? Or
you would have to.
Yeah, you have to set that armor. Basically, you set the equipment and you say, okay, this is for ret spec, and then you have one that's for prot spec.
Yeah.
And then whenever you swap your specialization from ret to prot, it'll automatically equip everything you have for that spec. So yes, you could do it before, but now you don't have to go in and do it once you change specs. It'll automatically happen.
I mean, I don't like that because I have different equipment for within each spec because I got like one for the 4-piece, or if I want more of this.
You can still have those.
Yeah.
You can still have it.
You have to change those yourself, though.
Okay. I don't see that.
So it's equipment.
Remedies you've changed.
I know. You have changed. You're why people stop watching us, Rem.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. You're why people watch us, Rem. You're the real MVP.
I wreck it for people.
Blood of Sargeras Spender finally now sells in multiple amounts instead of this one at a time bullshit. I don't know if anybody...
Thank you.
Oh, they finally put that.
Yeah, like I'm really excited because I know me and Jimmo, we've been buying shit and we click, and I'm like, geez, seriously? But that is...
you can't even like click it and then hit enter really quickly.
It's annoying.
You have to hit OK. That's not okay.
That is not okay. To help prevent accidental clicking, the resurrection option to decline now has a brief countdown before it can be clicked. How many times, Jimma? How many times have you declined it on accident?
No, it just sounded funny. I got to rewatch the episode for a while.
B-reses for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But I have accidentally declined a res because I just...
I sure have too.
Yeah.
When you're talking about that, so back when Lich King was progression, and before they changed it, if you released during the cutscene deal where your Arthas is coming up, if you released, you didn't get loot.
Yep.
And so one of the trolls in the raid that I was in, like they made a bunch of people say like, oh yeah, if you release, you come back and
skip the cinematic. Hit OK.
Yeah, that's good that they're doing that because
that's really mean.
It's funny.
Oh.
I fell for
an open all button is being added to the mailbox. Where did Blizzard get that idea?
Oh, I remember that.
Interesting. That's one to note we're going to talk about because that is...
Sounds like they're going postal.
They are going postal. I'm going to rant about that, by the way. Remind me to rant about that. In archaeology, elite dig sites are now represented by a different icon, which there was an add-on for that already, I believe. Achievements linked from other players now show your own progress in the same tooltip. Imagine that for as long as I have been playing and I've always had an add-on that did it anyway, now all of a sudden you're on the bandwagon wanting to steal the poor person's add-on, which I think it might be Overachiever, might be what I use, I'm not 100% sure. For appearances, you can now preview an ensemble set by control-clicking it. So you basically can see all the other items in that appearance, which is nice. Especially if you're mogging it. Like, I love mogging. So, the Transmogrifier NPC is now trackable on the minimap. Why wasn't it always? Blizzard? The fuck?
Because I already knew where it was.
You can now search your appearance collection by dungeon and boss name. Hi, we stole you from another add-on. Imagine! You know that nice add-on that does it for you? Well, we're putting that in game, so that add-on person's
what add-on is that?
I have it in my list, but it is an add-on where I just search and it just finds the stuff. PvP in arenas, your enemies crowd control. Honor talents are now tracked on their unit frames. Interesting. Various improvements have been made to party member visibility in Battlegrounds.
Dude, that's why that add-on keeps on breaking.
Right? Quick join, auto accept. A setting has been added to allow friends and guild members to instantly join your queues without a confirmation.
Fuck that.
I don't know what this means entirely, but
secret sauce is not for.
No, is that for like queues for? Does it explain?
Okay,
queues for LFR,
so
or is it
this is like when someone sees me in a battleground and they join my queue. There's the thing where you can auto accept that. I can be honest with you and tell you I will never turn that on. Like, you can turn it off, so it is a setting, guys. Don't freak out. There's times when there are some times I don't want to play a specific part of World of Warcraft with a specific person. Now, this is going to sound really mean. some people are not PvPers. And when I know you're not a PvPer and it depends on my evening, if I want to go in and get my battleground wins, or if I want to blow off steam, or if I have a specific end game in mind for my evening with PvP, and I know you don't PvP, and I know it's going to be a bad time if you're trying to be my healer and you don't know how to heal, I love you, but not today, Satan. Not
I've gotten
today.
better, Bell. I'm a better healer.
Hey, really quick though, what if I'm in a battleground? What does FC stand for?
Oh, God. God love that man. I love him, and I know he
Fried
listens to
chicken.
the show. And I love you, but fuck, can you please know what FC is when you're trying to PvP with me, guys? I'm not an elitist, but
Who did not know?
It was Eeg, and I love him. He don't even mind. He said, and he goes, "Well, I'm trying to PvP." I just didn't understand what it meant. But he was the healer, and I said go FC, and he's like, "What's an FC?" And I was like,
What'd you call me?
I can't
He's
even.
like, where's the K at?
Like, I can't even respond at this
Okay.
point. But there are times when specific things at specific times, depending on my in-game time and what I'm really doing, I have times when I designate to teaching people how to PvP or running with people because they need help. But there's sometimes when my game time is limited and I don't necessarily want you along for the ride if I'm trying to get in and get out. So it's nice for the times when you can turn that on. And it's nice for the times when you can turn that off, so that it is an option in there, which is cool.
So you're not going to teach me how to affliction and
Right. And group tooltips now show the available roles if the auto accept is enabled. So that's kind of cool. If you're utilizing that, you get to see that. And then right click a quick join group to whisper a member of that group, which is also kind of cool. My favorite one's coming up, guys. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Spellbook. Spells that haven't been moved to an action bar are highlighted in your spellbook. That
that's
is my
cool.
favorite. Can I tell you why?
Sure.
When I swap to an alt, or I swap specs on one of my alts.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then I don't know what's on my bar and what's not. And it's like, what am I missing? Especially if it's new to you and it's not something that you play all the time. Like,
Yeah.
there's been times when Remedy, when I'm on a tune and he'll be like, hey, do this. I'm like, oh, that's awkward. It's not on my bar. I can't do anything. And then I'm in the middle of trying to find it while he's yelling at me.
It's
to
probably
Oh,
3
gosh.
minutes of a conversation, and then you notice it's not on your
Pretty
bar.
much.
What?
And it's usually something that my role is requiring me to do
Well,
that,
what
and
does
I
it
don't have it.
do? What does it do though?
And that's literally what I do to him. Like, I don't know what that is. I need you to help me. So basically, it'll be highlighted in your spell book. Mousing over a spell highlights it on your action bar, making it easier to locate on your action bar as well. And I'm assuming that this would be from an organizing perspective, right? And then pet spells.
Like on your bar. Yeah.
Pet spells can now be dragged onto your player action bar, which is kind of cool. My pet spells in PTR were actually missing off my bar, and I didn't understand why. And then
like
I
hunter
realized,
pets too?
it just says pet spells, but I would assume that hunter pets, they are considered, even though I have demons, it's still considered a
Right.
pet.
And
It's
more
still
likely warlocks and hunters.
it's still the pet bar, so it's still
like
a pet
that.
action bar, which is kind of cool because you can now put it on the player action bar.
Yeah, I
Which
want that.
visually, if you think about it, for hunters, everything their pets do, most of the time, if they're playing that, that setup or whatever, that's part of their rotation. Same thing with me. There's like my interrupt for my Doomguard when we're raiding. There's a lot of things that it's literally a part of my rotation. Being able to put it on the bar, especially to macro, it would be really nice.
Like growl. Yeah.
I was just gonna say growl, like
Yeah, for sure. I
Then
think
a shot.
visually that's a really, really smart one that they're doing. So
Especially with those. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're
The
good.
special hunter pets where like you can heal.
yeah,
Or, like the special buff and all that.
spirit beasts.
for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that was really smart on their part. Now,
How do you feel about all that?
I want to discuss. Here's what I think is great. I think it's a great thing that Blizzard sees what other people have done with add-ons and takes that in and integrates it in the game because it's less add-ons people need to have. I appreciate that. But my question is, what's being done with these developers of these add-ons that really work hard to give us good add-ons to improve our quality of life? We just basically say, okay, fuck you, just kidding. Is monetary compensation happening for all their time and effort? 90% of these guys don't do it for monetary compensation, but they do have Patreons that allow for people to donate to them because their time. So my question is like, and we could even take this back to the days of OQ. OQ is a great concept. It was amazing.
That was an
Sure was.
amazing
Blizzard
thing.
took it and made it theirs, which is, I respect that, right? I happen to know specifically money changed hands in that transaction. However, not all the time. What about Postal? Is Blizzard cutting off a piece to Postal because they took their design? Is Postal being acknowledged? Where's the acknowledgement in this forum post where they talked about these UI improvements? Where I didn't see anywhere in the blue here where Blizzard says, "Hi, we're changing this thanks to Postal, the fucking developer of the original. Thank you for giving us the idea." Where's the nod to these guys that are doing this? Now, I'm going to tell you, I was enraged when I read this earlier. I was absolutely enraged when I read this. And the reason I was enraged is because why take from people and not acknowledge? You don't even have to pay these guys. I mean, monetary compensation, in my opinion, I think would be warranted in this scenario because you're taking something somebody else developed, right? Like you're taking a concept somebody else developed and you're making it yours. I'm going to need you to show me the motherfucking money and not just be like, oh, just kidding, we're taking it.
Show me the money.
Two, how about acknowledging these guys that are making these add-ons that are working really, really hard to improve our quality of life, and instead you just shit on them and steal their shit? How pissed off is Blizzard when Elysium and Nostalrius and all these people are taking their code? So my question is this happening? Does anybody know? Do you guys think that the add-on people are getting paid for these?
I highly doubt it.
No, not unless it's something substantial like that OQ deal.
And how do you, like, let's play, maybe two of you play the add-on developer and two of us play the Blizzard people. How would you guys feel? Let's start first with how you would feel as the add-on developer. How would you feel if this was done to you?
I mean, I would feel like shit. Like, I've spent so much time and so many years of patches per expansion, or patches just because of patches that are coming out for WoW that could, in the long term, just shut it down. So I have to take time out of my life to do something for an entire million-person community, and then big name industry is like, I'm just going to take this. And not that it doesn't happen every day around the world, because I go back to another topic for when I worked for GameStop. I read that article for the DualShock. Big deal. Super big deal. But I mean, it's around the same term, but I know nothing's going to happen out of this in terms of Blizzard. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And if it is, I mean, if it really is at the end of the day, like if there's all these hidden, hey, we'll fly you out to Blizzard. We'll talk to you like how you came about doing this add-on. Let's give you some sort of contribution for your many years. And now we're going to take it and call it whatever the hell we want to call it. Like at the end of the day, that'd be great. But is that going to happen? Do I have a Snickers right next to me? I don't. So it's probably not. So,
Jimmo, what about you? You're always the guy that's like super like even keel with like most of the controversial topics here.
Yeah, I was like thinking like, do I even want to answer it? I guess we don't know everything that has switched hands, but I also really don't believe that they got anything for it, to be honest, like a lot of those. So I mean, overall, it's a good thing. Obviously, Blizzard taking all those ideas and improving the game that we love. So it's obviously good. But I do get where you're coming from. And I really would be interested, because I bet you it varies from creator to creator. Some people might go, yeah, what I made is in game, move on to the next one. But other people are like, man, like you said, I spent so much time making this game better for millions of players, and Blizzard can't tip my hat off to them. So I don't know. I'm happy for the game, and I feel bad for those developers that do kind of just have their ideas somewhat stolen or completely stolen. So, but to me, I don't have a care either way, as long as the game just gets better. But I feel for those the creators that are crushed.
What about you, Rem?
I'm in the middle for both sides, because one, it is Blizzard's IP, but at the same time, yeah, people literally spent since like vanilla making add-ons that are quarterly life deals. But if there was acknowledgement, I'd feel a little bit different.
I think I agree with you there.
But if they acknowledge, sorry to interrupt, but is there a business thing where if they admit they're taking your idea, don't they at that point have to give them a cut? Because there's could be legal stuff.
I mean, not necessarily, because it's what Rem is saying is accurate. They're adding modifications to a game that they don't own, right?
Right.
So creatively, they don't really have that creative control, because it's not their physical and intellectual property there. But I think not even money, just hey, Postal, thanks for doing this. you've been doing this for a long time. Thank you for giving us the idea to put this in game.
Right.
You know, or hey, I don't remember what the add-on is. Random add-on that shows the tooltip of your progress versus the player's progress when someone links their achievement. Hey, add-on, thanks for doing this. You inspired us so much with your quality of life improvement that we've decided to implement it in game. Because I agree, the honor can be in the implementation, right?
Right.
That could be a high honor. Fabelina, congratulations to her. She's one of the graphic artists out there in the Twitter sphere. She's fucking amazing. She just finally got her NPC, which is pretty freaking cool. But like, nowhere on this post did I see Blizzard say, hey, Postal, we put this in game now. Thank you. Like, no acknowledgement whatsoever. And I got to tell you, I was pretty peeved. I was peeved because they get frustrated when people take their shit. Why is it okay?
Yeah.
And this is not the first, it wouldn't be the only game to do it either. Like, there's a lot of gaming companies that I'm sure that borrow from whatever add-ons to implement it in game. But I just feel like there should be some kind of shout out or, you know, a thank you or acknowledgement so that some of these developers are college students. You know what I mean? Some of these guys are just little guys. And
some of these people could be in high school.
When we cut Rem off, I think Rem has more maybe to add to that. Or he's got,
also, it's kind of a missed opportunity for the community kind of thing where it's you have these talented people making these add-ons. You could utilize their ability inside Blizzard.
Yeah.
1. 2, you have the sense of community where it's like, hey, everyone's been using this add-on since like day 1. We're doing this, and just like it sent them that acknowledgement. And that kind of makes you look more like not only the good guy, but you're more in tune with the community. Because I bet a lot of these, internally, a lot of the developers are saying like, oh, this add-on, blah, 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 but use this, blah, blah, blah. And they're, internally, I bet they're all like congratulating the people, but they aren't making it like, hey, publicly saying.
If they give that head nod,
this
too,
is where we got this idea.
Yeah.
We're happy for them.
Everything people do in the Blizzard community, 99% of it outside of, you know, monetary focus and an in-game of some type of internet fame, I think a lot of it is for Senpai to notice them as well. Example, I tweet Lore's faces because I want him to notice me. That's why I do it. But I think I like what you're saying, Rem, and maybe even possibly doing a hand-in-hand thing that's a visible hand-in-hand thing. Like maybe they have an add-on contest or you know, maybe they have like an open exchange with these developers, which 99% of them are on the Curse community. You know, granted, we don't really know what goes on in the background, but I gotta say, seeing that open all, and then I seen on the comments where people were like, yay, I can finally uninstall Postal, and I thought, that hurts my feelings. Like, Postal still does more than this bullshit open all button, FYI. It allows you to ignore certain things. You can ignore, you can ignore the lost mail, you know, that where if you didn't loot something, it sends it. You can ignore only auctions. Like, there's a lot of customization that
I have an idea.
Postal, you do?
What's your idea?
Oh, shit.
Tell us.
We reach out to them and interview them.
I like where you're going with that. We're going to riot in this bitch. Granted, though, we don't know what's going on in the Blizzard world, right? Like, I don't know what conversations they've had with these developers.
Yeah, right.
All I can tell you that my reaction when I saw this was like,
was
wow.
Not good.
No, it was really... And now I know how I feel. I can only imagine how other people feel. And Blizzard has a responsibility where perception is key. So I think if there is if there is things going on in the background, I think that the gamers should be privy to that. We want to see our favorite add-on developers get, you know... we want to see them get that, like battleground targets. I need to see battleground targets in game because it would be amazing if Blizzard did that. It is dumb that Blizzard does not have a battleground targets already in game.
Yeah.
And already does the thing that the things that it does.
It would help so many bad players out. Oh my gosh.
I agree, and it's dumb that Blizzard has not picked that up. Maybe they have plans on it. I don't know. The battleground targets add-on has been broken for like.
It could be harder to add in. So the other side too, it could have been harder to put into game than it.
Yes, that's my next thing. That brings me to playing the devil's advocate on Blizzard's side.
Right.
Blizzard doesn't have time to do all that with pushing content out, bug fixes, and things like that. So I know that they look to these developers to find the holes and fill the needs where they can fill them, which is why they allow add-ons. A lot of games don't allow add-ons. A lot of games it is illegal to use add-ons. So the fact that they do allow it says that Blizzard is having an open, like, it might not be a two-way communication because Blizzard's like stocking your shit and they're seeing what people like and they're taking it. Right. But I feel like from a Blizzard standpoint, that's smart. They can't think of everything. And they'll never be able to do that. So they do look to the players, but I just want to see some public acknowledgement here. I need Blizzard to really make me happy and am I the only one that feels this way? So if you're listening or watching, comment and tell me if you guys feel the way that I feel about supporting our add-on developers and making sure that they have it doesn't have to be monetary compensation. Some of us don't give a shit about that. I'm one of them. I want Senpai to tip their hat to me.
I could use money, I'm just saying.
I mean, money cannot buy happiness, but it really buys a lot of tacos that make you happy. So it, although does not buy happiness itself.
Right. No, and I get what you're saying. Like, if we've been on their page twice, let's just go with that.
They stopped doing that. It's really sad, but yes, we were.
But when I actually used to always check that monthly, like, it was kind of cool to see the people, the channels, stuff like that. And
I cried. You would have thought we won the freaking Oscars. Like, I was crying.
To podcasters, like, that's where they want to be on the internet. Sure, you're already on the internet doing a podcast, but to be recognized, and that's a big deal. For add-on developers, yes, you're doing something that's allowed. You've been doing something for years, and it's even with your job. That's with school. When you do something and you get recognized for it, it's a big deal. Science fair kids. Hey, I made this awesome volcano that didn't blow up my school. First place. Cool. I don't get anything for it, but a ribbon. But at the end of the day,
a hell of a thing to put on your resume if they did.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so for instance, when you have big add-ons like DBM and Recount and all those other damage meters,
how's Recount not in the game?
That's what I'm saying. If they add something like that, where it's got like this massive amount of downloads across like WoW interface, WoW Ace add-ons, and Curse, like for instance, just on Curse, DBM has like a third of the population of the U.S.
They would have to compensate the bigger ones just like they did with OQ. Now I have a different view because I knew of the situation with OQ because the developer of OQ is a good friend of mine. So I had already known about the way that worked out. Now technically Blizzard didn't have to give him any money. Blizzard could have told him to fuck off. And they could have done it legally, but they didn't. But they basically said either you take the money or you don't have anything because we're shutting you down one way or the other. That authorization that you need to be able to do this, we're not allowing it. So, I mean, the bigger ones, but like this postal thing really bothers me. You want to know why? Because it's the world's simplest add-on, but it's something that I cannot live without in game. And I feel how many
downloads does postal have, Rem? If you're looking,
actually not that much. It's 14 million on just the Curse side of it.
Did you say that's not that much? Because that's a lot.
No, but I mean, in terms of the
other downloads.
Yeah, no, but I mean, postal. It's one of my needed add-ons just because it's the quality of life is amazing.
I uninstalled it one time because I don't know what I was thinking, and then I went to do stuff with Auction House and was like, what the hell? I want to see fair and equal treatment for these guys that really work hard. And I know that another argument could be said, well, they don't do it for that reason, right? They're doing it at their own risk, essentially. When you're doing that, you're not doing it for money because you're not charging people. You're doing this at your own risk. So I understand from both sides, but I need to see better behavior from Blizzard as far as these guys that are doing these add-ons. I need you to restore my faith in my fellow man, and I need you to shout out, guys. Shout out people, for fuck's sake.
Okay, so since you're still on the postal thing, just for get an image of it, his updates go all the way back to 2007. He's been doing this for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Give him a job, for crying out loud. Like, you pay your developers. Your developers get a nice salary.
This developer, but I mean, at the end of the day,
it's multiple people. But yeah,
I mean, thank you for all the time you've done. Give
him a finder's fee at least. Put him in game.
Name the mailboxes postal.
Yeah,
boxes.
Can you give a nod? Like, give him something.
You know how easy that is.
Comments on the show. If you're an iTunes listener, go on over to the YouTube channel and give me a comment. The emails are awesome, and I still have emails that I need to catch up on, but it's easier to track everything in one place. So go and comments on the YouTube channel if it's convenient for my iTunes listeners. I know that you guys are commuting to work, but when you get from your destination or to your destination, give us a comment. Tell me how you feel and how you would feel. Don't be mean in your comments. Be like, oh, Belle's just being a bitch again. Like, my heart goes out to these developers. I just want to know, like, if you guys feel one way or the other about it, or, and do from both sides, from a Blizzard standpoint and an add-on standpoint, so that you can make sure you're walking in both shoes. Instead of being barefoot like Remedies.
I don't know what that life's about. Can't do it.
Because shoeless in my state is not the business, guys. Now, before we go to the lore segment, I still stand by my statement that the patch is the 28th. So we have not gotten any inclination as to when the patch is, except the background download is available for the patch, right? So
the 4th.
I'm still going to stand by my statement that the 28th, which would be next Tuesday, I thought we would have seen an announcement at the developer Q&A, but then I thought they wouldn't do it 2 weeks in advance. They would probably do it this week. So watch the developer Q&A to see if at the end they do tell you when the patch is going to come out. But I have a feeling, I'm pretty much not wrong, I'm pretty sure it's the 28th. I'll be very surprised if it's past the 28th.
It's going to be on the 4th. You want to bet?
I don't think so.
You want to bet on a duel?
No, I just don't think so. I can't tell you why. I can't
It's
tell
gonna
you
be the
why I
11th.
think that, but I just don't think so.
It's the 11th. Okay.
It's the 80th of the month. So, I don't remember if I told you guys, but I'm not sick this week, guys.
Thank you.
Feeling good?
Not sick. And those of you that commented to us last week on the show about our various sicknesses and caring about our health really makes us feel good to know that you guys care. And there was somebody who commented on the iTunes that Rem needed to be put on the intro. They were very upset. Not very upset, but they were like lobbying to make sure. That was really awkward. I just wanted
Mike and who?
I just wanted an answer to the question, and I did not get the answer.
They did.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that's not the answer I got.
Yeah, it's that pocket.
I didn't even see
Forever
that,
Pet.
actually.
Pocket portal.
The pocket portal. So we have a chat, right? So that we don't have to say stuff. But I was trying to
didn't
inquire
see
about
it.
something, and the response
Yeah.
I got was super awkward.
So the funny thing too was I did a video thing to like tell you that I did it at work and whatever, and I sent it to the wrong group, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I was being like extra stupid.
That's always the best.
right. Absolutely, yeah. All choked up.
My cough medicine's starting to wear off right about now. So before we get into the lore, which I'm interested in this because apparently he's going to try to make me hate Gen Greymane. Jimma, what hails from the pet battle world?
Boom. Well, we had big news last week that I was going to stream with Remedy's help, but I didn't even ask him. Remedies, can you help me set up the stream?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I
okay, thank you. We'll do that. So yeah, I'll be streaming probably the Friday.
I already have your overlay done. I just need to send it to you.
Really? Say
Mine's
what?
purple, right? Okay, cool. We're good.
Nice, epic, right? So what that be? The 31st will probably be the easiest day for me, but I could do it on the 30th as well. So probably myself will be streaming on the PWNCAST channel March 31st.
It'll probably be the 30th since 31st is Monday.
30th.
Right? You said Thursday's good?
Thursday's amazing. 30th, be there or be square. Can't wait to do it. It's just going to be some pet battle bonuses
Did
stuff.
you see that the 31st is a Monday?
Yeah, it's not. It's Friday. Yeah,
It's a
yeah. We're
Friday.
over that. It's all right. Thank you for your help, Remedies. Guess what, guys? Catapets, Cataclysm. I don't know where you guys were when this expansion. Yeah, you guys remember that? Cataclysm? Was it
There are a lot of cats.
I heard it was a lot of cats. I heard it was a lot of corgis.
You guys need to settle down right meow, please. Thank you. But it was, I thought, like, I was hyped for Cata, right? I got into raiding Lich King. My raiding guild had just fallen apart. My guild was boom, live. All these guild rewards, right? That was a whole new excitement. The leveling of the guilds, the guild mounts. How cool were those when those first came out? But there was new pets, and I'm going to talk about some of my favorite Cataclysm pets. You had some cool ones like the Dark Phoenix, the Armadillo Pup, and Little Terragosa. And I remember just my guild getting together to kill 50,000 critters as a guild just so we could unlock this silly armadillo pup. So just stuff like that brings back a lot of good just guild memories and stuff. And then I just have so much fun when I'm looking up the pets and everyone talking about these guys are distracting me like crazy right now.
You're good. Keep going.
I'm just really excited about your segment.
Thank you so much for that. The excitement and people doing like the research of like, oh my gosh, these new pets are going to drop. So, archaeology was introduced and there's all these really cool archaeology pets. And the Clockwork Gnome is special to me because it was the first companion pet that I leveled up. It was my...
Oh, really?
Yeah, my first one. It was
the
my
Clockwork Gnome?
The Clockwork Gnome. Now, it came out before Pet Battles were available,
Right.
but when Pet Battles came out, the next expansion, I just wanted to choose a mechanical pet, and I like that build turret move it had, and I found out it could heal itself. So it was my original companion pet that I went through my journey with, my Pikachu. I'm not just saying that for an excuse to talk about Pokemon. You literally had to pick like a companion pet that you would slowly level up, and that was the highest one. You didn't just get this stone that granted you a level 25 pet. And Pet Battles weren't, to me, that wouldn't be a special. Like, I enjoyed the journey leveling against all these trainers or whatever, but we know that.
And you did it the old school way because.
Yeah. As soon as I remember I was trying to level up a paladin, but I kept going to my hunter because I wanted my hunter to get all the achievements on it. The paladin was just strictly to make gold because start of an expansion. But yeah, Clockwork Gnome was very cool. A lot of cool like archaeology pet, the fossilized raptor, which had an awesome mount. I was very excited to get that in archaeology. And then the crawling claw, I've never gotten that. Some people have grinded their whole WoW career looking for the crawling claw, which if you don't know, it's an undead pet. It's just like a hand.
No way.
Yeah.
Way. You've never seen it? It would look so slick with your T-Mog, all that purple. It's like an undead.
How do you get it?
Archaeology. What's the Tolvir?
Oh,
You know that
You gotta sing the song.
You gotta sing a song. What song is that?
What did you call it? I'm writing this down, Jim.
The crawling claw. You think that's good? So it's a little hand, an undead hand that would look great with your warlock. If you and I had one, Belle, because I have one, and we popped them out, they would play rock paper scissors to get together.
No way. Can I buy it?
Okay,
No,
that's
I
pretty
can't buy
cool.
it.
Yeah, you can buy it.
I can buy it?
You can buy it. And that's actually how a lot of people, that's how I obtained mine when, it's funny how I'm jumping from Cata to Mop kind of, but in Mop, you could unlearn companion pets. Was that brought out in Mop or was that Cata?
It was Mop.
Yeah, Mop, right? So when you first could do that, well, I'm looking on auction houses. I scored a couple crawling claws for 6,000 gold, not really knowing what the value was. I just knew 6,000 gold was very cheap. And I would literally go from service to try to get extra crawling claws. But it was just a cool pet. And some people have still farmed, whether it's for the crawling claw or that mount, the little bug mount that you get from the Tolvir rep as well.
I'm going after the show, and I'm going to go see if it's
Ultramarine.
for purchase on our server.
It's very expensive, and it varies. I might know a guy, but they can really vary from 29,000 gold, which would be a steal in a couple expansions ago, and I've sold a couple for 69,000.
I'll totally pay gold for it.
It's worth it. It's a good pet, and I think one you'll love to have in your collection.
Speaking of Catapets, by the way, one of my favorite ones was released in Cataclysm, actually.
What was it?
Cinder Kitten.
Nice.
I told
that
you,
from
kitties and corgis, guys.
Meow. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, there was a lot of cool. I think, like you said,
buy it, but I mean.
Yeah, no, it's still cool. Like, I've liked all the ones that they've come out for the store. So, Kata was just good. I know everyone was complaining, maybe too busy complaining how hard the heroics were, but those archaeology pets were really cool. The singing sunflower, I love Plants vs. Zombies. I don't play many other video games, but I just really enjoyed that mini game. Does that sit bad on your soul, Remedies? You don't like that?
I hate that sunflower pet so much.
Oh, because yeah, I agree. It's very annoying. It's
like hunters with guns.
It was annoying at the start of companion pet battles too, because it would just heal so much and people didn't really know how to take it out. So just reminiscing over the old pets were cool.
The hand has a ring.
Yeah, bling bling.
How did I never know about? I never knew about this ever.
It's a cool pet, and
That's why we have Gemma Banks.
Right? This is why you watch the show, Belle. You've so many good things. Landro's Little XT was a card, and there was just like Deathy was the BlizzCon pet, and for 2010 BlizzCon, and no one did hit me up and offer me Frosty from the Lich King Collector's Edition. Understandable. Maybe you have a Cataclysm Collector's Edition. I'll also accept that, because Little Deathwing and Frosty, they just, those two companion pets are so good in my opinion. I don't know if it's because I don't have them, but those are two of my favorites.
You want what you can't have.
Probably,
typical
but like typical man, Belle. We said don't make this about men versus women.
Oh, sorry, we can't be honest.
But fair enough. But like, how crappy was that Quillen pup for Mop? In my opinion, like you get Frosty, Little Deathwing, and then a Quillen pup. What? Anyways, so that's
the
all.
Quillen are pretty cool though. So.
No, I didn't even get that. And Gemma Banks wastes money on collector's editions. But yeah, just cool to reminisce over some Catapets.
Hashtag to when we bought the collection Origins edition of Overwatch, we don't even play it because we wanted Baby Winston.
Baby Winston, yeah. I did get some views on that video, and I had some fun PvP pet battles early on. But yeah, it's just
that's funny. Shinies.
So yeah, cool. It was cool researching the pets, and please come join my stream on Thursday, March 30th.
Yeah.
Because it'll be fun.
Twitch.tv/PWNCAST.
Boom.
Love it.
What? Oh.
Yeah, so in regards to that stream, that week will probably be when we start. Rem is coming down to my house this weekend, when I originally wanted to start the streaming this weekend, but it's just not going to be possible because two of the streamers are going to be busy all weekend. So,
well, you can get a head start on your punny videos.
Yeah, we'll start that next week. So make sure you guys have subbed. Not subbed. We're not cool enough to have a sub button. Make sure you follow twitch.tv/PWNCAST so that you can get notified when we're live. But
we're cool enough. We just don't have enough followers yet.
We have quite a bit. We almost have 800.
That's a lot.
Which is a lot for never not using Twitch. In truth, so it's not terrible. Now, Rem, let's get to the business of your bullshit comment regarding Gen Greymane. What are we going to be talking about for today's lore?
Greymane's a bitch.
Wow, what a muting.
Sassy man.
So it involves Bradensbrook, which, if you do not know, is in Val'sharah at the moment. It's a bunch of Gilneans that live on the Broken Isles because of Greymane, because he's a bitch. So pretty much, the citizens of Bradensbrook were Gilnean citizens, and if you don't know, you have the whole scenario with Gilneas. And you do the Worgen starting area, and there's this giant wall.
He says my favorite thing, for Gilneas.
Yeah, anyways. So you have a wall.
God, I hate you.
Gen Greymane is the Trump of WoW. He builds a wall, okay? And he says, screw everyone else. We'll pay for it with taxes. Okay, so you have
somebody get out the running list. I know Lycan normally runs the list of who we offend, but I'm pretty sure we just offended several people. But that's okay. We'll add them to the list.
So Bradensbrook, they were citizens from Pyrewood Village, and Pyrewood Village, if you don't know, and Silverpine Forest. There's two villages that got wrecked. So Pyrewood Village and Ambermill were two Gilneas towns that were beyond the wall, and the reasoning for the wall was actually back in Warcraft 3, backtracking to when Lordaeron and the Alliance, and you have the Kingdom of Alterac and Paranold and etc. You got all that stuff going on right now. So when the Scourge is coming down south to mess up Gilneas, you have Gen Greymane saying, screw everyone else, we're going to watch out for our own people. And he builds a giant wall right through the center of Darius Crowley. His lands up north. He was from Pyrewood Village, became a royalty, not really royalty, but he was a lord of the land up there. And Gen Greymane goes, we're going to build a wall. We're going to section ourselves off from everyone so that we can defend ourselves because we don't know how to do anything else. So You have Scourge coming down, and Pyrewood Village goes, we need to get the hell out of here. But then there's a wall in their way. So they GTFO on a boat, and they get shipwrecked several times, and they end up on the Broken Isles, and they found fertile land, and they ended up settling there. So that's why Braden's Brook is there right now, is because it was Gilneans running away from the Scourge, finding out that Gang Greymane abandoned them, and is now in Val'sharah. And so while that all is going down on the other side of the wall, Darius Crowley is in Gilneas, giving the finger to Greymane, because #Greymane's a bitch.
But Greymane was fighting Sylvanas in Stormheim, so he has a good reason for not being there, right?
That's like years after.
Oh. Never mind. I was trying to defend him, but apparently...
The wall was built way before the events of World of Warcraft. It was like back when Lordaeron was still a thing and Undercity wasn't there. So, yeah, Greymane's a bitch. So what involves with that, because you have the citizens on the other side of the wall going out. So what's going on the other side of the wall is you actually find out a little bit when you're doing the Worgen starter area and the Worgen affliction. And so that also explains, by the way, why Braden's Brook citizens aren't afflicted by the Worgen curse, because they weren't on the other side of the wall and they weren't getting attacked by the feral Worgen and all that good stuff, aka bad stuff. So what's going on on the other side of the wall is actually a civil war between Gang Greymane and Darius Crowley. So the backstory behind that is Gang Greymane reluctantly joined the alliance with Lordaeron, Alterac, King Alterac, Stromgarde, that area. And Gang Greymane, long story short, is selfish. He doesn't want to... What's the term? He doesn't want to spare any of his people to help anyone else except Gilneas, which, I mean...
Is that selfish, or is that self-preservation for his people?
That's self-preservation in a bitch way.
But isn't that... I mean, I get it. We're all supposed to come together and we all fight together, right? Like, I get that. But isn't he being a smart leader for wanting to protect his people?
Not when you abandon everyone that's looked out for you.
Okay, that's different. If you're fucking over your allies, like, I got you there.
It's like
That's
Blizzard taking add-ons and not giving comments.
With the Alliance, and Lordaeron is getting messed up by the Scourge. Stromgarde is being little conniving bitches with the Horde. Excuse the language.
I feel like maybe he's just doing the best he knows how as a leader.
That's the problem. He doesn't know what he has to do as a leader. That's why I don't like the upcoming stuff with him. And
you're a very bitter Nancy.
Anyways, I don't like Greymane, okay? So, Greymane and Darius Crowley are having a civil war. Darius Crowley was for the Alliance and helping people, and was the one that kind of advocated for the Gilneas to join the Alliance. And then Gang Greymane tells Tyrannus Menethil II, a.k.a. Arthas' father, who is the king of Lordaeron. He tells... Gang Greymane goes up and says, we're no longer a part of this. If you're listening, if you're not, whatever. We're watching out for ourselves, and we're abandoning you. And so...
Is that a direct quote? Because I feel like you're giving me alternative facts here. That better be a direct quote where he says, we're abandoning you.
I'll find you a quote.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to quote. Fuck around and give me alternative news.
So Gang Greymane and the other loyalists, aka the people that have money, and Darius Crowley is building a rebellion against him, and this is where you find out that he goes to prison because they lose, and that's where the Worgen starter area starts, and you break him out, and you fight all the Worgens, and actually the time frame between when you're in that church scene and you become a Worgen is actually 6 to 7 years.
Oh.
And so the very first start of that Worgen era starter area is actually during Warcraft 3 in terms of the timeline. And so you become the Worgen, and you find out about Ken Greymane becoming a Worgen. Darius Crowley is also a Worgen. And but yeah, that's kind of like the backstory about the Braden Brook and how Greymane is a bitch.
Huh. I'm going to need you to supply me with quotes. Because I don't believe that he said the words, "We're abandoning you." The Gen I know would never say that. I'm pretty sure he's the only one that hasn't slept with Jaina, right? I'm pretty sure that's why I like him, because he's the only one.
Oh my god.
I mean, are we right?
Okay, so just to give you a backstory on why he's also a bitch. You know who his friends were during the Civil War? Lord
Captain
Walden.
American Iron Man.
Lord Walden, who is in the Silver Keep or Silverhold Keep, and he's a dick. And Baron Ashbury, who is also a boss in that dungeon because he's also a bitch. And then Vincent Godfrey, who tries to sell Gen Greymane during the Forsaken invasion. He tries to trade him off so he can get favoritism with what's her nut, Sylvanas.
Yep.
And all the good people are with Darius Crowley. You have his daughter, Lorna Crowley, which is actually kind of important right now in the Stormheim stuff. You have Tobias Mistmantle, who was he helps you in the Worgen area. I don't know who Sean Dempsey is, but I know who he references to.
You mean Tobias?
Tobias, yes, sorry.
Tobias Maximus.
Tobias. I'll find the quote, but he fucks people over. He's a
I'm gonna need you to find me some quotes.
Yeah, like I need proof at this point because I don't believe he said the words, "We're abandoning you."
No one does. They just do it.
I'm just saying, guys, I don't believe any of that.
Was Remedy's segment about Lycan? Worgens? No.
No.
Interesting.
Here we go. Okay, so what he says, this is what he says to Tyrannus Menethil. He goes, "Damn the orcs, damn the alliance, and damn you. The last thing Gilneas needs is sponges from other nations drawing from our resources, Dalaran wizards meddling with our affairs, and someone else's enemies killing our soldiers. Gilneas is its own nation, and it always will be. This is the last time I'll ever talk to you, Tyrannus."
I'm abandoning you, but he did say, "I'm about my people. My people are dying."
Because
let my people go.
Mm-hmm.
I think leaders have the right to say no.
True.
No means no, Belle.
Sometimes it doesn't.
This is true.
I'm totally kidding. God, somebody's gonna be offended. I was totally.
We weren't.
I was totally just kidding, guys. Okay.
he has some redeeming factors in recent times, but I don't like him at all.
Well, like what?
So, dear Remedies, King of the Lore, can you please tell me what happened to Thrall and Agra's baby? The last thing I saw about him was in the Barrens back in Mists of Pandaria.
When he throws Doomhammer, there's an alternate scene where he throws the kid down. Just kidding.
Oh, man.
Do you know that answer?
Not off the top of my head right now.
So
no.
next week we'll respond to that. Those from Aja.
I didn't
She
care
said
about
remind me to ask him, and I just did it for her. So it'd be good. It'd be good to have that. Now let's talk Bell's Bites, guys. So I'm gonna be doing a video about this later. So if you didn't catch it all in this episode, it's totally fine. I'm gonna be doing visuals in the video as well. But I want to give you guys a nice rundown for those of you that listen to the show and want to know what needs to be done that's of importance of patch 7.2. Now there's lots of video guides out there of what needs to be done for patch 7.2. So the things that I took are the very most priority. I didn't take all 20 things that you need to do. I took the very most priority and what most players should have done by, I'm going to say the 28th, but by the time patch 7.2 happens, what you should have completed. So first thing, make sure all your reps are exalted with Legion. Should have happened organically in the natural flow of doing world questing. But if you have an ult that you've changed over to your main, that needs to be, you need to make sure that all the Legion factions are exalted. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, because I was thinking Silver Pine Forest.
Sorry about that. I had a frog in my throat.
There's
just
a
kidding.
snake in my boot.
So you want to make sure that you're exalted. The reason you want to be exalted is because you want to get started right away on your Paragon rep, which is the additional rep that you'll be able to get past exalted. For every 20k additional rep, you'll get the box for that specific faction. It's going to be from a repeatable quest. They have not given us a limit. It's just sky's the limit as long as you want to rep
I
right
love that bit you saw.
On a previous episode, I'd said that you could save the rep tokens that you were getting and use them. That's actually a lie. It cannot be used once you're exalted. So I apologize for the misinformation. However, they didn't state that until recently. So I do apologize.
Well, because people were probably doing it. That's why. So.
And I went in and tested in PTR, and it doesn't allow you.
Yeah.
However, what I will tell you is if you used an alt, if you rolled an alt and that's your new main and you're struggling, get the tokens on your old main that you're exalted on. Send those over since they're bind on account and use them. So that's what I started doing.
When are they going to make the Kirin Tor?
A rep is completely useless and pointless. I don't even do the Kirin Tor stuff. It's completely a waste of my time.
I mean,
but
it's
if you get exalted with Kirin Tor, you become best friends with Khadgar. Who doesn't want that?
I can't wait to be besties with him. Can't wait.
They keep giving me 1,500 rep that I can't use for shit.
You can you get all kinds of things from these boxes. More notably is the opportunity to get the mount that each faction has in those boxes. So definitely want to make sure that you're exalted. And like I said, if you're on a new, most of you have probably switched mains by now, since there's been a little bit of a content lag. Not content lag, but maybe a fresh pace or something new besides your main.
I played Diablo.
Or your class got nerfed.
Well, I have an alt, and what I did is I just started taking the tokens that I would get from the Kirin Tor box and from the missions. I would just send the tokens over to my alt. So make sure that you guys do that. Also, make sure that your class hall campaign is complete on your main, or whatever's going to be your main. You want to make sure that you're completely done because that is a prerequisite in order to get your order hall, the new order hall campaign, for you to be able to do your order hall advancements and the other stuff tied to that.
The best way to do that is to just keep checking out in your order hall to make there's no quest.
And making sure that there's a random, certain things will proc different things in that quest line depending on your class and your order hall. So you definitely want to make sure that you just pay attention to that and just make sure you get it done. You'll be able to know because there's an achievement for it. So make sure it's done. You also want to make sure that you have Legion Pathfinder Part 1 completed, because Part 2, while easy, some of that is going to be a bit of a grind. So for Part 2, relatively easy. The only thing that's going to be rough is getting the Legion Fall reputation because it doesn't come with plenty. So it is just that's a little bit kind of annoying. They did remove the requirement for breaching the tomb, which was a really lengthy set of questing in Broken Shore. So the cool thing is they removed that from Pathfinder 2. Here's what the only thing you need for Pathfinder 2.
Why did they remove it though?
There was a lot. We're talking for a lot of players months before the possibility of being able to fly. Which you're still grinding anyway for the reps, so it's still not going to be right away anyway. So I mean, it's still difficult, but I agree. I progressed pretty well through PTR, and I was only 3 in to that breaching the tomb. It's like 30 quests or something like that.
But how long were you doing it for?
I mean, I was logging in every day and doing stuff. But the length of the questing is the reason that they took it out. So you need Defender of the Broken Isles, and that's complete all the Legion Assault quest lines for each zone. Sarmar's the only one that does not have an assault. But I'm actually going to be showcasing that video this week also because I did go in and do that. That's on my list of things to show you guys.
You've been grinding.
Yeah, so the assaults are specific to each map, and there's a different set of quests per map that you have to do that ends with a 3-man scenario that we talked about a couple episodes ago. Right. So you have to complete all those. You have to explore the Broken Shore, which you'll do that organically anyway, because the second you get on Broken Shore, you unlock the ability for World Quest when you go through a couple little questies for Khadgar. You just have to make sure everything on your map is not shaded anymore. You just run and do your thing. And then, of course, Legion Fall Commander, which is to be revered with Legion Fall. That reputation is extremely painful to get. So
maybe that's why they took it out, because that one's going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, so that'll probably be the last one. But you'll do a lot of it organically as you're progressing through Broken Shore, and like what you're doing there, like you'll get that reputation. And a lot of us will probably be farming nether shards for the vendor there for the gear, especially for alts. So you'll get it for sure. And Legion Falls should be one of the emissaries as well. Although I've never seen it in PTR. I've never seen it pop up on the emissaries. Doesn't mean it didn't happen and I missed it. Likely, but no different than what we did with the other ones. You'll naturally progress as you're doing the questing and the world quests on Broken Shore. So it'll be the same amount of progression as it was for the other ones in this expansion. Not too terrible.
That's not bad.
But you want to make sure that you have the first Pathfinder done, because you don't want to go into this doing two. Just get it done, get it over with. Now, it's also important to note that some of you are going to be like, well, I don't even need flying. Well, you can't have your class mount unless you complete Pathfinder. So you have to get that.
The first part, there's an achievement that would show me what I'm missing from it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wowhead actually has a really good, I think it's wowhead.com/flying that should plug into.
Go to questing, go to exploration.
Yeah, but it's pretty easy to
Legion.
track in game.
Yeah.
The Wowhead thing isn't really necessary anymore. But definitely make sure you have Pathfinder Part 1 done so you can get started with Pathfinder Part 2 for nothing else, not even for the flying, but just for your class mount.
There you go.
Awesome.
You have to have flying is what actually procs the quest, I think. I don't know if proc is
So many good mounts.
I mean,
what is it,
no,
gated,
we
or
have-
I don't know what the official term that all the fancy people use.
Proc is fine.
we'll accept proc.
Get as far into your weapon that you're going to be using in 7.2 as possible. So if you swap to an alt, get as far. You want to be at least rank 34 so that you can get. You have to be at least rank 34 to be able to unlock the 4 new traits and the additional ranks for rank 3 traits as well. So if you're past 34, any amount you have past 34, like right now I'm at 47, they're going to take everything up to 34 and they're going to refund all that artifact power back to you. So even if you're thinking, well, this isn't going to matter, you still want to keep pumping into it, because if you have unused tokens on you, they're not going to be any good. You're going to have to vendor them because they're going to be useless. So keep pumping into that Paragon trait and then it'll go all back. I mean, I used it and was able to get maybe 3 traits out.
You said 34?
Yeah,
I'm going to check after the show. Sorry to interrupt. Is
You
it
should
just
be
up to the golden trait and a couple past that?
Yeah, I would really say it's a good rule of thumb would be you should be at least 40 into your.
Yeah,
I'm sure many people are, but I would say you should be at least 40 in for average players that don't get a lot of time. So PvPing is a really good way of AP as well as the mythic dungeons. But if it's difficult for you to find a mythic group, go do some random PvP.
LFR
even if you lose, like, you're still getting stuff. So yeah, and LFR as well. Take advantage of that and just go grind out your AP, because you get it anyway. It goes back to you, even though they're just, splitting that one Paragon trait into 2. It's still going to be good. So make sure that you do that, because you will not be able to unlock the new traits for your weapon unless you are at least 34 for your rank. So make sure you've got that done. Most people have it. This is really for people who swapped to an alt. So yeah, for sure. Let's see. Make sure your artifact knowledge is completely maxed. I believe it's level 24 now, question mark? 24 or 25?
25.
Or yeah,
Is it 25? So I don't know why I put 24. Make sure it's maxed out, because in 7.2, quick little quest with your head archivist after you do a thing on Broken Shore will expand it to level 40, and you'll be able to start working pretty much the same day as the patch, because the quest is really easy. So you can start researching, and the modifier, like somebody did a little table that shows, like, at rank or level 40, 1 billion freaking chance of artifact power that you're getting. It's getting a little bit in the ridiculous side, but we're going to be spending 1 billion and trillion on traits, so we're definitely going to need to be in the higher ranks. And also the compendiums will catch up as well in 7.2. So if you have alts, the compendiums will, go to 35 just as they do now. When I think they go to 20, right? Or 18?
20.
20?
Yeah.
20. 20.
So that's all happens really quickly. And then for the Pet Battle World, with the new Pet Battle dungeons that are coming up, you want to make sure you have a variety of pets at level 25 while it's easy to be able to do so. That's, Jimma will tell you, do it via old content using your Pet Battle Stones, like all the tricks of the trade to be able to level. You really want to take this downtime before patch 7.2 to have a variety of different skill sets and different types of pets for these dungeons. Now, the cool thing about these Pet Battle dungeons is there's different levels of difficulty. So you get to go in as a beginner beginner, like you get to kind of set the pace for, and there's achievements that are tied to the ability as well. But you want to make sure that you have a nice plethora of level 25 pets to be able to choose from, so that you can make sure some of these dungeons, I watched some videos. It's not for me, but fun to watch anyway. But if you're a pet battler if you see a hole in your pet battle team, or something that you've always needed that you're missing, make sure you go in and do that, because
Zandalari ankle render.
Yeah, get them leveled to 25 so that you can start doing that right away for pet battles.
I'll keep people posted too eventually for like the right pets to have for that.
For sure. I think there's already a suggestion of teams and stuff that you have for that.
I think it'll be more basic than the Celestial Tournament, maybe as the difficulties get harder, but it seems still, when I look at it, that like the Celestial Tournament was just harder. I don't know if pet battles were newer then and that's why, but...
Because you were like brand new trying to learn how to pet battle, maybe, or no?
In a way, yeah, and there wasn't as many guides. It seems pretty straightforward. The dungeon doesn't seem very hard, but again, with the extra difficulties...
Now you're super pro?
We'll see.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. I think that was pretty much all I had. I'm going to be putting out a couple videos. I already have all the recordings done. I just need to do the voice for them. But
I call it Bell's Bites because like Bits and Bites has like such a variety in the bag of things, and that's
because it varies. Like it's not necessarily 90% of the time it's PvP related, but it also like I'll see what people need and what they need more.
Is that why you named it Bites, because of Bits and Bites? Really? Ha! I'm so smart.
Because it'll change according to what the community is asking for information on. And although there's plenty of people that provide all this information for everyone, I do think that I am a lot nicer to listen to than some of them.
Agree?
Just kidding. Just kidding. Somebody is going to be, oh God, Bell's voice is so annoying. Samesies, I agree. My voice is super annoying.
Change, that's why. So
sometimes I hear myself and want to tell myself to shut up.
What do you got there, Rem?
Hashtag fuck Great Mane.
Wow, you're a terrible individual. So, Jimma, what did you do this week in World of Warcraft?
I really wanted to raid with the homie Neil, but couldn't get off work in time. I need a new schedule so I can raid with people. Everyone raids about an hour or just as I'm getting off work. And your boy Jim has been a sucker all expansion and hasn't raided much. So that is not cool. But what I did do was some boring world quests, and I just wish my Warcraft life was more exciting to tell you guys about. Hopefully next week there will be, because I would have streamed by then, right? So this upcoming will be a lot more exciting than this week. It was just some basic world quests and a lot of boring stuff. What about you, Secret Sauce?
So, as you guys all know, work for Amazon, great company, whatever, right? But I've been a member of Loot Crate since the day I started at Amazon. And my manager, who gets Loot Gaming, I told him in advance that he was going to get some Warcraft stuff. So thanks to my manager, Brandon, hooking up with the Reversible Alliance Horde.
Nice.
He's a big Batman fan, so anything I get Batman related, I'm like, hey, man, I got this cool thing. What do you want to trade for?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it works out perfectly. So, and this is like limited to Loot Crate. So
that's from the regular Loot Crate?
No, this is from Loot Gaming. So,
Loot Gaming.
Yeah. So I got that, but on top of that, like actually WoW related, the Mythic 15, which was great, but again, 4 hours of my life down the drain. Thanks to Wayward Forcers, great group of guys that I raid with, and Sunday Fun Day, tacos with the writers, Soiled, Ram. Was it Ram? Is it Justix? Just
no, it was Justin. It was JV
Justin,
Stein.
JV Stein. Really nice guy. Glad that he's part of the writers with us. And yeah, had tacos and stuff. So
in Cali?
Out there in Cali, man. So but other than that, I really haven't done much. Actually, I'm gonna do LFR right after the show with the buddy to basically give him free gear.
I want to get that crawling claw. Literally, I'm doing that. And then I have some videos I'm gonna record tonight, the voiceovers, but yeah, I'm gonna go buy. I'm gonna find that pet.
Yeah, and how about you,
rock, paper, scissors when you
that
get
is
it?
So exciting.
Not a lot in game. A lot of work last week, but
sounds so sad.
Mythics on the Mythic Day. And hanging out with groupies in the guild.
We don't have groupies, Rem.
There we do.
Rem does. Rem's famous. He's on the intro.
I'm secrets creepy, so it's all good.
Mm-hmm. He sits in a car for an hour and a half too. It's great.
You assholes are like, oh, I'm in the shower. I
You should know messing
He's
with
always-
Secret is asking about
Yeah.
him being in the shower before you guys go and do anything.
I was ready at 12 o'clock. So
I called him
Also,
and he
here's
never
that.
answers my phone calls. Every time I call him, he doesn't answer me.
Well, the thing is, like, we all agreed on 12:30, and I called Tio, aka Soiled Myself, and I was like, he
was the
are
one
you
asleep.
guys almost here? He's like, oh shit, you woke me up. Took a nap.
Too funny. I
Not my
honestly, my weekend wow is pretty much the same as Rem's. This weekend, I still had this cough, right? I'm not going to go into specifics on the side effects of the cough, but it is awful for me. Giving birth to children and then finding out that you do tinkle when you cough. So it's been one of those things where I just said, fuck it, and I stayed in bed. Because although I am feeling a ton better, I just had to run to the bathroom every time I coughed. And I took cough syrup. I've been basically drunk off cough syrup for a week. Because for me, when I get the cold, the actual cold that gives you the cough, which doesn't, it happens maybe once every couple years, I'll have that cough for like a month. So I just kind of gave up on life, and I did PTR stuff, and I did all the recordings that I need to do for the videos, but my voice wasn't 100% for doing the audio. So I didn't do a whole lot of stuff in game
Here's what
either.
we're doing in the PTR.
Just
Sounds like you're pretty
because-
productive. Like
Yeah,
you
I mean, I did other stuff that I needed to do, but I haven't rated either. But that's just because Bell's DPS needs help, and I think I figured out how to help myself. It's just
Unsubscribe.
no, it's just this. It's being destruction is just that being destruction. So, but there's guys that are doing it. They're on Mythic raid teams that are.
I watched them at
They're
work.
doing it.
Did you hear
But
that?
the difference is because these guys have the time to go grind for specific targeted gear that they need. I don't have that kind of time. I have 5 children and a job and PWNCAST things. Like, I don't have the time to spend doing Mythic Pluses and running raids constantly,
don't
doing all
sound
these
that busy.
things. But I don't have the time to do targeted, right? And that's a lot of my
Right.
issue is I need targeted gear. There's specific gear for specific slots that I should have as destruction for the best
Haste first,
output.
though.
But I don't have the ability to do that, and I'm frustrated that I have to be honest. I'm frustrated that I have to have exactly every single piece needed to be able to do it. I should
You
be
need
able
a
to.
Mythic 14 bracers.
So annoying,
from
and I'm pissed
Mob
off
Souls.
because I'm one of a few classes or few specs that's that way, and it's frustrating. But
Well, your podcast DPS is quite high, so that's good.
There you
I'm
go,
gonna
that's
keep on
right.
smiling. So I do bow out of raid when my DPS is an issue. I don't raid for a while, and then I'll just casually. I haven't even done any heroic bosses in Nighthold. Also, though, with the time difference, I'm now 3 hours from server time, which means it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon for me to raid, and it's just not.
Not possible.
It's just not possible. I have to be domestic during the week, or the kids burn the house down because they're pissed off. I don't do any of those things. So, the streaming that we did talk about, like I said, that'll happen. Probably kick off stream. Probably kick off stream next week.
Who's kicking it off?
That's a good question.
We'll leave that for
That's
now.
a
We're
good
gonna
question. I don't know who's kicking it off. I do
We're gonna
Fridays and Saturdays.
strategically plan that, guys.
Yeah, we'll see who's doing that. Maybe I'll pick up a random one earlier to kick it off. But the reason we're not starting it next week is because Rem's coming down here. We're throwing a massive birthday party for my husband, Dark, Rem, and Murky. Their all birthdays were in the same month, so we were like, we'll just have a big, huge, giant pool party with the barbecue.
Sounds
So
good.
Pool party?
Oh yeah, and
What's
Ella.
the Racha sauce?
So I bought a lot of Girl Scout cookies.
real
kind of.
quickly, I just need to check the emails because I have a feeling that there was one that I needed to respond to.
So
I got a feeling.
Softs, do you like tagalongs? The peanut butter Girl Scout cookies?
Possibly.
Let me find it.
Because you can have some.
What happened?
Bought a lot of boxes.
He bought too much fucking cookies.
How did you buy too many though? Because the Girl Scout.
I got to support my Girl Scout.
Did you buy more from the same Girl Scout?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have enough people at work selling that shit. So
How
Let's
much
just say
did you buy?
You can't count them on your fingers.
The amount of boxes?
Yeah.
What, like $3 a box, $4 a box?
$5.
$5 a box.
They used to be
$5 is
$5.
$5.
What?
I remember when they were $4.
You guys can have a cookie party though.
That's super weird. But guys, comment, give the video
Please.
a like. Comment on the show. I have some comments from last week that I have not responded to. I'll get to that this week, and I do apologize. I'm slacking. But comment. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for being with us, even though we've changed. You know, we're gonna keep on rolling, guys. That's how we do in the Mountain
Change
Dew.
is good.
Change is good. Change is needed, and it's a breath of fresh air to change
Gotta
and
keep
to
on
evolve.
keeping on.
Without you,
Life's a garden, dig it. But we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here because it's really quiet in my house and I don't know what's going on, to be perfectly honest with you. So we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're listening to this on iTunes. Give us a star rating and talk to us. Reach out. Yeah. Go to the YouTube channel and comment on the show. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us what you love. Tell us what you hate. Tell us what you had for dinner.
I'm hungry.
I know.
Email
me
me
too.
at PWNCAST.net. Oh wait, you can't. Never mind.
Oh.
By the way, hashtag Gray Main's a bitch.
God, I hate him. We're gonna go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Bye. It really hurts my feelings that you say that stuff about Gen. I just want you to know that it hurts my feelings.
It does not.
He's literally the only person that has not slept with Jaina. Right? Or did they do the duty?
Terralion did it. Troop hero.
I love how you both are wearing different versions of an Alliance headgear. Hey, does your light work?
No, I haven't charged it.
Aww.
Maybe I'll get it charged for November.
Are we good?
Are we not shaving for November either?
I
I knew. 'Cause the second you said that, that's exactly what I